Sports fans and beautiful women, welcome to this episode of Court Vision brought to you by War Room Sports in conjunction with Sports Kings. This is our show. We talk about the basketball culture. Now, at the round table tonight, I have Andy from Sports Kings. What's going on, Andy?
Hey, man. I got shot about 500 times, and I did about 1 million crimes. Shout out to Froggy Fresh.
Froggy Fresh, and don't forget Moneymaker Mike. B. Austin, what's going on?
Yo, for those of our viewers who have not seen Avatar, be easy. Dante Exum will be in the league soon.
Yo. Dev, what's going on?
Yo, I'm sleepy. I ain't got nothing cool to say.
Okay, cool. That was cool itself. Frank, what's going on?
I got no intro, just straight promo today. Go to sports-kings.com, watch, go to Pass the Pill, and Andy and I are drafting top 30 players at every position.
Ooh, okay. You got to have one of my favorite players in the league there. Shout out to my man Spencer Hawes.
Oh, boy.
So,
He ain't making the cut.
he ain't making the cut. How does Spencer Hawes not make the cut?
There's some pretty bad centers in the league, Andy. He might make the cut.
Spencer Hawes.
He'll be there. He'll be there.
He may make the cut.
Yo, shout out to Spencer Hawes. You can't give me about 5 centers that are better than Spencer Hawes right now.
Yo, shout out to Gordon Hayward. He was the first white boy in the top 10 of any position.
Spencer Hawes.
Balls.
Spencer Hawes is your center's favorite center. Come on, man.
That's what he is. Listen, as we always do, let's get our players of the week this week. Dev, who are the players of the week?
All right, players of the week. Carmelo Anthony in the Eastern Conference and DeMarcus Cousins in the Western Conference.
Boogie!
The Knicks, 3-0. Carmelo averaged 27 a game, 2.3 steals.
Defense?
He played some defense.
Talking about defense?
Exactly.
Defense.
On the other side, DeMarcus Cousins and the Kings went 3-0. He averaged 25 a game, 12.7 rebounds. And he played a lot of minutes last week, 37.2 for him. So shout out to those two guys. The Knicks trying to turn it around, just like the Nets. But shout out to Boogie and Melo.
No doubt. Listen, this wasn't on our rundown, but I actually had this debate in one of the million groups that I talk in the course of the day. Do you guys think that Carmelo Anthony is a clear-cut Hall of Famer after 10 seasons?
No way.
No way?
No, not in my opinion. I mean, what has he done? I mean, he could score, but what has he? He's never been to the finals. He's never. I wouldn't even take that as a discussion.
No, here's the thing, though. I've seen people on both sides of the argument because remember it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, so what he did in college as well as the way he torches the Olympics does count.
Yeah, I mean, he played 1 season in college, though. I mean,
he won a national championship. Man won a national championship.
It's debatable. I think it's certainly debatable. I mean, would he get my vote? Not that I actually have a vote, but no, I mean, I feel like he still has time though because it's not. He doesn't necessarily have to win an NBA championship. He just has to kind of be in the mix. I mean, they can't win 40 games and be the well. 40 games might get you the 4 seed, but he can't be a perennial 7 seed, 8 seed type guy and expect to get in.
You guys think Tracy McGrady is a Hall of Famer? I mean, Carmelo Anthony's career reminds me of Tracy McGrady. So if you think Tracy McGrady's a Hall of Famer, I can see you putting Melo in the Hall of Fame.
Yo, I wouldn't let Tracy McGrady in nobody's Hall of Fame.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what Melo's career thus far reminds me of. He has.
Now, let me ask you a question, though. Now,
Tracy's been much more injury prone than Melo, though. Go ahead, Jim.
Tracy was on way worse teams, though, too.
Here's the thing, though. Who would you who's closer? Like, what about CP3? If I asked you the same question.
Yeah, he's.
I would say
he's in.
I'd say he's closer for me personally.
And it's funny because everybody says that, but he's missed the playoffs damn near his entire career.
I was about to say,
he's missed the playoffs almost his entire career.
That's
and
why,
what has he
Jimmy,
really done?
It's all about perception, man. So,
but it's the same thing. You
for me,
could say the same thing as like people will argue with Tracy McGrady though too, because I've seen it happen. And I mean I love Tracy McGrady, but I'm not really part of those arguments. But people will tell you that it's the team. Chris Paul played for a really bad team for quite a stretch. I think Carmelo was kind of expected to win when he played. He played with Iverson, and then now he played in New York.
He played with Iverson in Denver though. Like he didn't play with Iverson in Philly.
But they were expected to win. Yeah, but Iverson wasn't garbage.
He played with Al. He didn't play.
He played with Allen Iverson. He didn't play with AI. Let's put it that way.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. He didn't play with AI. He played
He
with
didn't
Allen
play with
Iverson.
AI. He played with Allen Iverson.
But he still played with better teams than I think Chris Paul played with in New
He
Orleans.
played with Bubba Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I would say even a
Bubba
washed-up
Chuck.
Allen Iverson's better than Trevor Ariza. I'll give you that.
That's a debate, and Dev brought up something that's all about perception. Like Chris Paul is considered a good guy. They may let him and Cliff Paul both in the Hall of Fame.
You're right.
But
he plays defense.
No, not with that haircut.
Two
Not
speeches.
with that haircut.
Yeah. With that being said, though,
Let him do everything else with the haircut.
let's talk about this though. Let's talk about someone who definitely will be going to the Hall of Fame, and that's LeBron Ramon James. He's been in the news this week for a couple reasons. You guys were putting me down with the new trend of LeBroning. So what do you guys think about LeBron and what's going on with him and him having attitude this week and the whole concept of LeBroning?
Look at you, emotional.
Yo, first of all, LeBroning was featured here on the local news. I was kind of surprised to see that.
Low
But the
news
big-
cycle.
LeBron is so good right now. The big story
Right,
of the
the
week
circuses.
is LeBron almost getting into a fight with I'm gonna try to say his name, Mirza Teletovic.
Mirza Teletovic.
Yo, he
Yeah.
got
That guy.
his throat beat in.
MT.
All you
that
gotta
was
do
kinda-
is add like
Who
3 more
would've got
syllables
their
than
throat
what you
beat
thought
in?
was in there.
Raymond.
Yo, LeBron would have got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I don't know how much you guys know
funny,
about
though.
Mirza Teletovic,
No,
but he
you
grew up in
stop.
Bosnia in a war
Yeah.
zone.
I was
Yeah.
getting ready to
Every
say
time
that.
a-
that life.
I was getting ready to say that.
Every
LeBron
time
may
a
got
player's
to
born,
fight,
people
but he
think
wouldn't have
they're
woke up
bad
the next
news.
morning.
Yeah, I remember dudes used to back down from Hito Turkoglu. Probably because they didn't understand what you're saying. I don't buy that.
Right away,
No.
smell.
Hito stunk. Hito stunk.
Yo, Mirza would have
I
played
watched
it cool.
Hito-
He said he
Hito
don't smell
headbutt
like a
people.
European
Oh.
airport. I'm
Mirza
sorry.
would have played it cool, and the next morning LeBron would have woke up with like 3 Russians in his house, like telling him to sit down.
Give
having
me
a
your
quick
money.
You see him come to the next game with a black eye. They don't play around in Bosnia.
Shout out to Heathrow and Charles de Gaulle.
Yo,
Shout out to Charles.
airport smell like hoagie ass.
No, but in all seriousness, it really says something about the superstar treatment in this league that LeBron got out of that game without a technical foul. Like, he literally charged Mirza Teletovic and was, I mean, granted, he gave him the fake, like, hold me back, and nobody was there to hold him back, so he had to wait for
It
people
wasn't
to
that
get
much
there
of
to
a
hold him
charge,
back.
Frank.
I was
When
gonna
he
say
realized there was nobody in his way, he slowed
Slowed
down.
down.
Waited for somebody to grab him.
Slow it down.
And while he's barking, Mirza is laughing at him like, seriously.
Laugh right in his face. That was the best part.
So that Norris Cole could hold him back.
Yo, man. That being said, though, let's talk about another player right now.
LeBron,
in
you got your
basketball.
ass whooped.
Yo, Eric Bledsoe. In his
We'll whoop
meniscus.
LeBron's
Like,
ass.
damn, see, come on, man. Here you go, man. You think everybody beat LeBron's ass, yo? LeBron might be a coward, but those be the dudes that you gotta worry about. He might like beat you out of fear. Anyway, back to Eric Bledsoe though. What do you guys think about Eric Bledsoe and what's going on
One
with
of them
his
dudes,
meniscus?
he might.
stupid. Eric Bledsoe.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised that he made
Andy,
that decision.
elaborate on why you think he's done.
I mean, when you have the option, because there's not always the option, but in this case there was the option to repair the meniscus, and he was going to lose his season, which who cares? You play for the Phoenix Suns. I know like everybody's kind of on that bandwagon right now because they're playing better basketball. Well, I mean let's face the facts. When at the beginning of the season, a lot of
He
people were
got the
talking
Morris
about
twins.
Phoenix perhaps having the possibility of being maybe the worst team in the West or the worst team in the league, and now they're not, but they're still not contenders. So he just reminds me of a real foolish dude right now because he chose to, take the 4 to 6 weeks, remove the meniscus, and now he can come back and play meaningless basketball. But at what risk? I mean, we watched Wade did it, I think, in 2002, and it took a few years, but I mean, by 2010, 11, Wade was starting to slow down. So I feel like you can compare Bledsoe a lot of ways to Wade, the way he plays the game with the explosiveness. So I don't like it. I mean, it doesn't necessarily sign his death sentence or anything, but I feel like it's.
Sound like you just did.
But it's his second meniscus problem, like within 27 months. And you figure, Derrick Rose, he's not rushing back for anybody, so he took the long road so he could get back, next season. I figured Bledsoe would do that too, like Andy
Westbrook
was saying.
did it too.
Yeah, the Phoenix Suns are a surprising team, But in the West, at 21-16, you're still the 8th seed. So you might not even make the playoffs. So you may be rushing yourself back and jeopardizing the future of your career for a team that's not going anywhere. Okay, maybe if you're in the East, maybe you give it a shot. But I mean, even then, I don't think it's worth.
You might give it a shot.
Just from a common sense perspective, medically, none of us are medical experts, but I have a challenge with.
I play one on TV.
True. With your body, God gave you a meniscus, and now you don't have it anymore. That just, in some.
That's analysis.
Yeah.
Somebody else is like, how dare you? Like, yeah, God gave you that.
I gotta Google that to see if that's accurate.
Yes. But, Bledsoe was having the best season of his young career. Obviously, a breakout season. Him and Gorgon Dragic.
It's called starting.
We're balling. Maybe he wants to continue that, man. He wants to get as close to hitting that 20-point plateau and getting that payday that his agent is obviously going to demand at the end of the conclusion of this season. So it was a money deal. It was a money situation for him. He's saying, 20 years from now, I'll be willing to walk with a cane and sit in a wheelchair if I can look at my bank account and see 7 to 8 figures.
But we know how those NBA players'
that
bank
gold-plated wheelchair, B. Austin.
Gold-plated.
we know his bank account in 8 years after being out of the league is going to be empty anyways.
True.
I understand. I understand what everybody was saying, and I think you all bring up good points. But when you get a young guy in the league, and I mean he's playing well, he's going to want to play. I mean, I guess for the Phoenix Suns, I guess that's a good thing where you have this guy who's going to want to tough it out instead of just sitting out a season and pulling a D Rose and tell everybody I'll be back when I'm back, it out of my face. He wants to come back as soon as possible and do the best for his team. And I think it's important for the Suns to try and play for a playoff spot. I think it's great for a young team to get that playoff experience, even if you're just going to get swept by the Spurs. You learn from those series. Look at the Indiana Pacers a couple years ago. A young team got into the playoffs, and now look at them now. So, I mean, I don't think it's – I mean, I understand what you guys are saying, and I think maybe the best medical option might have been for him to, go the other route. But, I mean, I respect the guy that wants to go out and play.
Well, I respect it too, but doesn't somebody have to save him from himself at this point? Like somebody has to speak up and be like, "That's the wrong."
Well, that's the other thing. If it's coming down to medical staffs, I mean, if the Phoenix Suns medical staff signed off on it, I'm all aboard, man. I mean,
that's
you see the things that those people have done.
Their medical staff is like Johns Hopkins or something.
Yo, they got Dr. Shepard on their medical staff. And shout out to Frank for looking at the positive in the whole situation, and also shout out to D Rose, aka Derek Madoff, for continuing to steal money.
He made off, all right.
It's not right, man.
Let's talk about.
One second, Jim. There's another because bringing up D Rose. D Rose can do that because he's a superstar. Eric Bledsoe might be worried, like I'm just coming into my own. If I sit out for a season, I might come back and lose my spot. So
that
I can see that perspective.
That was my whole point. He's getting 18 a game. He's going to sit down at the end of his season. In his exit interview, he's going to say, "Yeah, I want you to talk to my agent real quick." He's trying
to say, cut the check.
It buys him good faith. I mean, if you're the Suns, you're going to look at it from the perspective, he was eager to get back and help the team and contribute 4 to 6 weeks versus losing the entire season. And that's probably in his head is going to play into it. When he's young though, young and dumb is the thing that keeps
dumb
my mind.
Full of.
But listen, then as a GM, I'm going to write down this note, but has no meniscus. So we have to think about this long-term deal.
B. Austin brings up a good point too, because I mean, this is sports in general, but I mean, in the NBA especially, it's a very "what have you done for me lately" kind of league. Yeah, he's scoring 18 a game, but he's out for the rest of the season. All of a sudden, that exit interview comes, and they don't want to pay him.
I'm gonna bring up one of this show's favorite players, Earl from the Knicks. Did he or did he not play himself out of about $20 million in the playoffs by not playing well? So
absolutely,
he had already re-signed.
I mean, he falsely played himself into that money anyways. But yeah,
yo.
So,
Anyway, man, let's talk about two players who will forever be linked in the history of the game. And I'm kind of exaggerating, but let's talk about Luol Deng and Andrew Bynum.
Talk about them.
Let's talk about them. But they were traded, for each other. Some draft picks moved as well. A semi-protected draft pick on the Bulls. But anyway, what do you guys, first of all, think about Luol Deng trying to provide veteran presence to that Cleveland team that's just out of control? They're not well coached. The players don't like each other. And,
they're rumbling in the locker room.
This was a team that was supposed to, take that next step, and they did take the next step in hiring Mike Brown and took 20 steps backwards. But and also on the other side of that trade, you have Andrew Bynum, who we talked about last show before the trade happened. Yeah, what do you think about Andrew Bynum and where he will end up? I know there's a lot of rumors going around, but what do you think about
Luol Deng is a rented player because as soon as the horn goes off of the last game of that season, he's not cleaning his locker, he's not showering, he's not changing, he's hopping on a plane straight to Sudan to get his mind right. So,
but here's my question though: does Cleveland try to sign him because? That seems to be what they needed. They needed a veteran player. They needed Luol Deng. They want him on that wall. They need him on that wall.
Jimmy. They're talking about it, but they haven't offered him an extension yet because they still have these LeBron pipe dreams. And Luol Deng, in an interview, actually came out and said, like,
he doesn't like LeBron.
No, he said, I understand why they haven't tried to extend me yet because, LeBron's a great player and it'll be great to have him back. So it's like he's kind of giving mixed signals because I wonder if he wants to re-sign there.
He doesn't.
It kind of sounds like he does.
But isn't that Deng in a nutshell, though?
Doesn't being so understanding of the LeBron situation, it seems like he may not want to re-sign.
That's his out. That's his out.
It is. And he says the right things, though, too. He's not one of those guys who's in the media, being Earl. As P. Austin would say. He's a consummate professional. I mean, I don't feel like Deng would say anything.
That's because Luol Deng is overpaid. Luol Deng's making millions of dollars. He's living in the Sudan with 3 wives. So he's like, he's chilling right now. Like
you guys are making Sudan sound like the place I need to be.
Luol Deng is just like, he's got that Kanye on. He's like, welcome to the good life.
He's chilling right now. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, a player like Luol Deng is what they need. I mean, obviously LeBron is LeBron, but are they going to let LeBron ruin their franchise again with just hoping that he comes back so we put everything else on hold? He doesn't come back and he ruins us again.
He's going to come back all right.
I think what's going to end up happening.
In a Miami Heat jersey and give him 40.
I think what's going to end up happening, which is probably going to be very good for the Cavs, is they're not going to get LeBron. I think that's pretty much sold. You can just put that in the bank right now, but I think they're going to end up overpaying Luol Deng because they have his bird, right? So they can offer him more money than any other team in the league. And after they strike out on LeBron, they're going to sign Luol Deng. And I don't think it's going to be the worst signing ever. I mean, Luol Deng is a very underrated player in this league. When he's healthy, I mean, he can ball out. I mean,
and Joe Johnson's contract's still out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And he can be the third best player on a championship team. He's shown it. I mean, that's what he was with the Bulls for a while. And I mean, they're a championship contender, and they did it with Luol Deng as their third best player. So if Kyrie Irving can build, and you got to figure out this Dion Waiters situation.
Philly support Philly. Word up, but you gotta go, cuz.
Dion Waiters is like accusing Kyrie Irving.
You gotta go.
He's like accusing Kyrie and Tristan Thompson of being friends, not inviting him to lunch and stuff. You gotta figure out something.
Invite him to lunch.
He don't fit in, and it's not even just on the court, off the court. They have issues, but he doesn't fit in on the court either. They don't play well together. Like
probably shoot too much off the court.
PSP, man, stop it.
Kyrie don't want to pass the ball either.
Dad. You from Philadelphia.
Lunch gunning.
Support Dion.
He gonna be at lunch gunning though. I don't need that. Pass the ketchup, man. Damn.
Oh, God. Yeah, so something has to be done there, man.
Shout out to Swaggy P. Whenever we bring up a gunner. Shout out to Swag.
Yeah, his name has to be mentioned. As a matter of fact,
just made a jump shot.
Oh God,
it's not gunning, it's swagging. You swagging.
He just made a jump shot.
He's swagging. With that being said, though, the other side of that is Andrew Bynum. There's a lot of teams that have been rumored. Like we don't know where he's going to go. We've heard by the time this video drops, though, he'll probably have a team. That's what happens with Andrew Bynum.
Hold on, Jimmy. Let me wrap on this real quick.
Go ahead,
All I
brother.
want to say is I hope that somehow that good brother runs into Tanya Harding. That's all I got to say.
Oh.
That's too far.
I'm a Sixers fan. I just got to point that out.
I ain't mad at that dude, man.
I want him to run.
Yo, but here's the thing, though, right?
Sixers got a lot of money because of him.
He also holding a grudge
Yo,
like no other.
Here's what's crazy about this. Like, Andrew Bynum kind of like, yo, spoiled brat, but he got himself in a situation where every team calling for his services are a contending team. And you know that if he gets into a situation where he goes to the Spurs, Pacers, the Heat, and has a good playoffs, he's going to get paid again. Like,
Jim, that situation is called seven-footerness.
7 footer.
That's the situation he got himself into. 7-footerness.
7 footer.
No, but now,
yo, man,
the teams that were originally slated to be interested, the Clippers, the Heat, OKC, Atlanta, because of Horford, a lot of them has basically seemed like they dropped out. OKC seems not to be interested anymore. Even the Clippers may
I had a
not
phone
want him.
conversation with him.
Right, but a new team has emerged, and that's the Indiana Pacers, and it's not that they need them. Speculation is if the Pacers try to make a run at them, if they can get them, at league minimum, then they're just doing it to keep them away from Miami, so they can. So they can still compete in the Eastern Conference Finals, barring that both of those teams still make it there.
So he gonna get paid again just to stay away.
He might get paid to stay
Yo,
away.
Andrew Bynum, man.
But at the same time, like you wonder if Bynum has a little more pride than to just go sit on somebody's.
No,
he does not.
No, he's gonna sit there with those that terrible afro.
I just want that hair to come back.
Think about
Bring
it.
the hair back.
Like, would he go to the Pacers to sit on their bench just to be kept away from the Heat, or would he try to sign with the Heat, play 5 minutes a game, and get a title? So it's.
The Pacers might use him.
Sign him for the most money. That's what he's gonna do. I'm convinced.
He gonna chase that chicken, man.
That means he's going to
Miami.
He's gonna go like Milwaukee, and he's gonna shoot threes for like 36 minutes a game, and he's gonna be like,
he gonna go play the 3 in Atlanta, man. He act like Atlanta ain't America, man. They don't give a fuck. But he gonna go play the 3 in Atlanta,
Yo, speaking of
you go to Atlanta with me.
Milwaukee, Frank Sanders ain't ish. I just wanted to point that out. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But they paid him.
What?
They paid him some money. Frank Sanders.
Larry Sanders?
Larry Sanders?
Larry.
Yo, did you hear about my man?
I'm like Frank Sanders.
I thought this was another one of those where we're calling people Earl, or I didn't get it.
No, I was smoking that high decibel.
You doing that meow right there.
Meow.
Larry Sanders, you ain't ish.
Yo, my man Gary Neal put Larry Sanders on blast after a game. He told him, "I get paid to do my job. You should try it sometime."
He was a shot blocker. He was a very unskilled shot blocker, and it was all athleticism and length. I know, but they were stupid. It's Milwaukee. I expect
straight cash, homie.
Milwaukee doesn't know what they're doing. They also thought Monte Ellis and Brandon Jennings were going to coexist. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the Call of Duty backcourt.
I got a question.
Call of Duty backcourt.
That's a swag.
It's swagging out there.
Jimmy, Larry, Frank, or Colonel? Why are we talking about him?
Yo,
why are we talking about
man
this?
said Frank Sanders, yo. That's like a 1970s drug kingpin. Frank Sanders. Frank Sanders was getting money back in the day. Anyway, man, listen, yo. The one thing I just want to mention again, because I didn't realize it until doing some research for the show and watching some footage. I knew he was putting up numbers, but I just want to send one more shout out to Boogie Cousins, yo, because I didn't realize he was like putting up numbers the way he is and wrecking the league the way he is, man, because he plays in Sacramento. So
way better than Dwight.
Multiple All-Stars.
Here you go. So
Andrew Bynum, the
All-Stars, never a playoff appearance.
So
I don't even care about that.
My last question is this before we get out of here. Is Boogie Cousins a Hall of Fame? No, I'm joking.
He's in the Swaggin' Hall of Fame.
All right, gentlemen, man. This has been another edition of Court Vision. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Share the video. Give us your feedback on these topics. What do you think about LeBron? Do he got a knuckle game? What do you think about the trade with Bynum? Do you think Cleveland should try to keep Dang? And also, Eric Bledsoe and his meniscus, did he make the right decision?
Or should Dang
only
try
time
to
will
keep
tell.
Cleveland?
Or should Dang try to keep? Who wants to go to Cleveland? Shout out to Chuck Noah. Anyway, don't forget to check out sports-kings.com. Go to warroomsports.com and check us out. Don't forget to download that mobile app. It's on Android as well as iOS, and we also have an iPad app. And check us out. As we always say, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
Dante Exum,
at that.
Dante Exum, Avatar.
Salt Lake City, here come Andrew Bynum.
It's the war room with 5 nights at the round table, 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.